volume up, and we'll get our recording ready. Turn it down just a little bit. Does a little bit louder. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back to the Inn of Planar Crossroads, and welcome back to our Misadventures in the Southern Colonies game. This is our one-on-one game with my son and myself, and he is playing Moon the Kitsune, who has been out and about doing things. Last time he had an encounter with some duergar, or not duergar, duergar. I know I kept saying duergar before, but it was duergar. It was in the title. I apologize for all those who are sticklers about that, but they were the gray dwarves and everything. So, anyway, that is that. Let's get the announcements out of the way. So our disclaimer is this is our kids game. It is safe for pretty much all ages. We have this is not an adult podcast, and we don't use adult language on this particular podcast, at least not language that I consider to be adult. And yeah, should be safe for most ages. We have a Patreon going. $50 a month. If we reach that goal, we will give away a rule book of the receiver's choosing, as long as it's within reason, please. And if we get to $100 a month, we're going to give away a book we have on order, which is a special edition Pathfinder 2E playtest rulebook, the actual core rulebook. So if you're a collector, putting in your hat in that $10 a month of the giant tier or higher will get you in on that drawing. Our Patreon link will be in the description below. Our current we already know what our current session is. It should be about session 8, I believe, with Misadventures in the Southern Colony. And our next subscriber appreciation one-shot will be at 400. We hit our 200 subscriber goal, so Colin is going to be getting me a recording of his announcement, and we're going to get that announced one shot out of the way and done. So yeah, that should be pretty cool. We'll do that drawing once. We'll do that announcement once he's got everything ready for me. Our monthly giveaway, May's monthly giveaway, was a D20 dice mug, but I'm not quite sure what this month's is going to be. I'm probably going to wait to announce, or it's the first of the month when I'm recording this with Addy, so I'm not sure what we'll be giving away in June just yet, but it should be something cool. We're going to a con later this month, so perhaps we'll get something at the con.
Daddy,
and do that. I don't know.
when's the Comic Con again?
The con is it's the St. Louis Comic Con that we're going to.
When?
Not until the 24th or 22nd, I believe. Something like that. 22nd, 23rd, something like that.
A week or two away?
You can't talk quietly. You have to speak loud enough for people to hear if you want them to hear you. I think that's it. Like I've announced before, we're going to be doing our Pathfinder 2nd Edition announcements for what we're going to be doing in those and what we're going to be planning to do for those. And what we'd like to do to get the channel, as well as my homebrew setting, all rebooted and set up for that type of gaming. Because I'm quite excited about the Pathfinder 2nd Edition stuff that I've seen. It looks really sweet, so it should be pretty cool. And we want to get involved in that. But all that said, I think we're ready to start the game. So, took me less than 5 minutes this time. Awesome. That's the time allotted. Let's get in the game. We're going to start this session up with you guys being back in Crosstown. You were able to capture one of the duergar, and
Is it in prison?
Yeah, the Shireve Masterson. He has taken it back to his office, and now they've been doing a bit of an interrogation. They've been doing a bit of a,
Can I go to his house, to his office?
You can go with him to the office if you want. He says, he does tell you, now, Young and I appreciate what you've done for us, and you don't have to follow us if you don't want to, but I'm sure I'll be getting in touch with you. I've got to figure out what these individuals were doing here. It's not very common to have the duergar up this high. They're usually down lower in the dark below. And
so if we go to their hideout, it'd be down there and we need a torch?
Well,
Or something?
perhaps, I'm not sure, because I'll have to see what this one says. What information I can get from this one, because
Sometimes people... Daddy, this is not going to be... Sometimes people throw eggs at their faces to interrogate them.
I've never seen that as an interrogation tactic, but okay. And you have to speak loud enough for people to hear you if you want heard. Anyway, so he says that you could probably, chill for the rest of the day if you want to. You can go do what you want to do. If you want to do anything in Crosstown.
I go with the Shiree, Masterson.
Okay. So you go with Masterson. He and a couple of the
guards?
Yeah, he and his 2 deputies take him back. And make me a... you come in and the other guards and deputies see you taking this person in. Go ahead and roll me a... I guess a sense motive as you pass by some of the other guards.
Oop. 15.
Plus your sense motive.
1?
Plus 1 because...
16?
Yeah, 15 plus 1 is 16 because you don't have any ranks in it yet. So, there's that. I think I might actually have to give you some more... No, I don't. I think I got that because I did your update on your sheet. So, you go ahead and you definitely are able to figure out that as you're passing by some of the guards, they see the duergar, and some of them are surprised, like 1 or 2 of them, and you see that they kind of get fidgety as they go by, and they go back to their patrols. But
I tell Shiree about the 2 guards.
Okay.
I want to anyway.
He kind of looks around, he seems to make a mental note of who you're gesturing to, and he just kind of acknowledges that you said it and keeps his eye on the other deputies and stuff.
I whispered it to him.
Okay.
I didn't want them to know that I knew that they looked suspicious.
Okay. That's actually a good idea. So, you tell him kind of covertly, and he seems to get the message, and he nods. He doesn't say anything verbally, but you know that he's understood you, and that he's probably, like you, kind of keeping it to himself if he's figured something out. You're in your Kitsune form right now, right? Okay. So you go ahead and follow him back, and you make it to the Shiree's office, and he says, why don't you wait out here with her, and we'll go ahead and go in. He gestures to the lady deputy, and she's going to start working on some of the information. So you talk with her about what you found out, what you saw, and she's going to start keeping track of what she saw, and then we're going to be busy back here with him. So.
Okay. Where is the lady guard anyway, Daddy?
She's with you guys. She's coming in. So she's basically, he's wanting you to go ahead and get the
message to her.
Mm-hmm. Well, not a message to her. He's wanting you to talk with her because she was there too. You know, where's her name? I had it. I'll have to go back and look. Oh well. So he goes and he starts to poke around and look around. The person that you find, you talk with her, and you guys kind of bounce back and forth on what went on, who was where, and what everything was found, because they're trying to keep an accurate record of what happened. You can make me a perception check if you want to.
About what?
Just it's a general perception check. I don't have to tell you what it is. Yeah, depends on how high you roll.
Eight.
8 plus your perception. Perception.
5 and 1.
No, that's something else. That's your rank, and then that's how much your ability improves it.
Okay,
And
5.
It's 5. So 8 plus 5.
13.
So 13. You hear some noise back there.
Is he whacking him?
It kind of sounds like they're kind of roughing him up or something.
Like,
And that he's smarting off. He's smarting off to him or something like that. So there's some commotion, a little bit of commotion back there, but nothing crazy.
what if the Shire Reef gets killed? Probably won't happen, but...
Not likely, considering that the duergar's still cuffed. Manacled and stuff. But he continues... you have your little exchange, and you guys kind of get the facts straight on what was going on, what you were seeing and what she was seeing. And by the time you're finished, Masterson has returned, and he says that, well, I reckon he's given us all that he's going to give us about what went on. We're going to send him on up to High Hill to figure out what's... well, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to talk to High Hill on where we'll send him. Probably have to send him to the Iron Stronghold, because that's where most of the dwarven politics happen in the southern colony. High Hill will have to advise, or at least the mayor here in Crosstown, one of the two. I tell you what, boy. Why don't you head on back? You done with the deputy here? You are, so you can say yes.
Yes?
Alright. Why don't you head back to your inn, and I'm gonna round up some of those deputies that you were so kind to point out to me.
I think they went back to their patrol.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see if they stayed on their patrol or if they decided to desert. So, anyway, we'll get them in here and we'll figure out what they know. And after I know what they know, I can let you know. And we can figure out our next plan of action. How about that?
Okay.
Alright. So, you handle that. You go back, you rest up, and by probably tomorrow, I'll be able to have some kind of idea of what information I do and don't have. Anyway. You be good. And he starts to go back and go out. He goes back out the door to do what you think he said he was going to do, and go and try and find those deputies to get them reported in. And he has one of his other deputies comes out and watches the desk as he takes the lady deputy with him, and they go out and start looking around.
Wait, which deputy?
Delilah, I think that's her name.
Yeah, Delilah.
Yeah, that was her name, wasn't it? So he takes Delilah with him. And they go out and start looking for those deputies to go and get them. You can go back to the Golden Grain and kind of rest up, or you can do something else. It's up to you. You got the rest of the day to yourself. You guys went out in the morning, and it's taken a little while to get back.
What time is it?
You went in the morning. You went during the bright time of the day because Masterson knew that the dwarves that you described,
Daddy, that's
were
not their name.
They're a type of dwarf. A duergar is a type of dwarf.
Yes, but that's not their name.
They went that they don't like the light. It hurts their eyes. So that's why you guys went. You waited until sun was up, probably around 10, before you guys left. And then it took about an hour to find them, and then about an hour to get them back. It took about 30 minutes to get everything taken care of. So you're probably looking at about 1:30. Probably 1:30.
Probably. Actually,
Well, it took a little while. You're probably looking at 2 o'clock because it took some time for them to get back, for them to straighten everything out on the paperwork, too, for the story.
and to kill the big one.
Yeah. So, you get them. You get out of the Shire Reeves office at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Do you want to go straight back to the Golden Grain, or do you want to do something else?
I want to go to the food markets.
Okay, the marketplace. You can go to the marketplace, the market district. What are you looking for? You come back down here, and I'm
looking for some supplies like a cooking pan.
Okay, for like when you're not at the Golden Grain and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Like when I'm out camping somewhere.
Well, if you're looking for some camping type stuff, you think that Half-Man Outfitters, you remember seeing basic adventuring gear in there.
Like,
so you could find it here at the marketplace, or you could find it there at the Outfitters.
And can I get normal clothes?
You can. You've wandered around town enough so far to know that there are 2 or 3 places in the market district that you could get your accoutrement, your different, it's a fancy word for all the stuff you got, to where you can get your accoutrement for running around just like your regular victuals, your regular clothes. You have a set of regular clothes, just walking around clothes that you took from home. So.
Is there a washer place?
There is a laundry. It's not in the marketplace district. If you'd have to probably ask at the Golden Grain to know where a laundry might be. So that's probably the safest bet for you, is to go and check there at the Golden Grain if you want to find a laundry or a laundromat or some way to wash your clothes.
Okay. I want to go to the market.
You
I
have
want to go to Half-Man Outfitters to get some camping supply.
Okay, so like a little backpack of camping stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
or I just get a sleeping bag, but whichever. That must be a rat king or something.
No, it's not.
A giant weeping rat.
So, Half-Man Outfitters. You head to Half-Man's, and there's a new halfling there. He seems to be working stuff.
Does he know? Is he new, or did he come in a little?
Well, he's not the same one that you remember seeing. He said, "Let me see."
Is he new for this?
Hey boy, how you doing?
I asked
Oh,
him.
well, are you in your Kitsune form or in your human form?
I'm still in my Kitsune form. I didn't transform.
Okay. Oh, hey, what you want, Kitsune? No, that's the wrong voice. Of course not. Hey, you. What do you want in here?
Camping supplies.
We'll show. You got coin for it?
Yes.
Alright, just keep your fingers to yourself. Look around. Says watching you. He's kind of a, he's not short for a halfling, but he's a halfling. He's got really curly, ruddy hair. He's kind of portly, kind of
Daddy,
pudgy.
what type of camping supplies does he have?
He seems to have several things, different things that go along with it. There's,
Is there one like a camping bag that's it's like a backpack? And it has a bunch of different things where you can put your things in it and your camping stuff in it. And comes with a sleeping bag and that stuff, and a cooking pot, and other cooking stuff, materials and stuff.
He has a travel cook set, yeah.
I'd like to buy that in a camping thing, in a camping bag.
A camping
with the
bag?
stuff. With the stuff in it.
With what stuff in it? Just the cooking stuff?
No. I need the cooking stuff, and then I need the camping stuff, and I already have food, but I'm gonna go buy some more, just in case.
Okay, so rations are what you're looking for as far as food. And then you're wanting stuff to cook that food with?
Yes.
Is that all?
And then I need more food, like bread, and soup materials, spices.
Okay. So you want, to clarify, you want rations for when you go camping, for when you're out and about, and you want a cook set to be able to cook it with.
And so, spices and food, and more
that
food.
falls into the rations area. So you go ahead and you look around a bit. Kind of make me a roll these dice. Roll me D100.
Is this bad if I get a lot?
It can be good or bad. Just depends on what it is.
630.
No, so the 30 plus 9, because the line's at the bottom. 30 plus 9 is
39?
39. So 39. He's got some things. He has some average quality stuff. It seems like he may be a little out of stock right now. That may be why the normal one isn't here. Maybe he's out getting more stock. But he's got an average one.
How big
an
is
average
it?
little cook set. You know, it's just got a little cauldron that's about the size of a large bowl. Well, not a large bowl. Let me rephrase that.
A bowl
He's
like
got a
about
cauldron
this big?
that's about...
It's a little cauldron. I've seen what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I have to describe it for the listeners. So it's about the size of
A bowl?
An average cereal bowl is what the diameter might be, and then it's a little deep, like a little cauldron that you can hang over the fire.
So I can have more of a longer thing in there?
Well, it'll be like a big cup or like a pot or a soup. It's a little cast iron pot that can cook soup or stew or something like that for one to 3 people at the max. But it's meant to be carried by one person, really. Does it have a
little thing that comes with it where you can... This is a little idea I have where it has this thing. When you put out the fire, you can take it off the stove with this little cup thing. You put it in the cup thing with the handle there, and you take it off.
Well, he has
idea.
a hook that you can get it off with. He has a little cook set. Now he doesn't have a fire pit set, but he has like a little cook set for cooking over the fire. It's got a little tripod. It's got a little metal tripod with a little bitty it's got a chain that you can hook onto the cast iron, little personal cast iron sized pot.
In case for making stew and tea.
Right, for making stew and stuff like that. For making food in there and warming it up. And that's what he has, along with a small frying pan and a few utensils to go with it.
I'd like to buy that.
Okay,
and then
so
I want to buy a backpack to put it in.
Well, you have a backpack, I believe.
I want a camping backpack.
You want a larger backpack?
Well, I need one. I need a camping one.
Okay. So we'll put the cook set on here. And let me see. He says, alright. I mean, you come over here. You gonna pay for that?
Yes.
Good. He does, when giving the side eye. He said this, he sets it up here and says, it's about, probably
100 something.
2 gold.
What?
2 gold for a basic little small basic cook set.
Can I give him 3, please?
So you can give him as much as you want.
For the extra stuff that comes with it.
So you give him 3 gold pieces, and he kind of looks at you surprised. He says, "What's your name?"
Moon.
Moon. Alright. I can't remember you. You seem to be one of the good ones. Anything else you need?
Do you have a camping backpack type thing?
Yeah. There's some backpacks over there. He points over towards the wall. There's a kind of low on stock. That's where the boss went. You can over there, Adam.
And I head over there.
Alright, you go over there. There's about 3 backpacks. There's a large backpack, which won't fit you.
Backpack.
Yeah. The 2 bigger backpacks are for a larger person.
I want a smaller backpack with. I want this bigger space at the main part, then more little things for the utensils and stuff. Then this one like the one on your backpack, something like the one in your backpack, but smaller. So I can have, but in the main area we'll have the pots and pans and stuff.
Right.
And the longer area will have the utensils.
Right. So you go ahead and
buy it?
Yeah, you can buy it. And you go ahead and get that. He looks at you, he looks at the money you gave him, and he says, is the only one that kind of fits your description for what you're looking for is the smallest backpack that they have. If you tried to carry one of the bigger backpacks, you know that if you filled it up, you could not carry it. It'd be far too heavy because you're just not strong enough. But you can definitely get the smaller backpack. Yeah, you can get the smaller backpack.
It's sort of like a school backpack, isn't it? Except it has more slots and stuff.
It does have some more pockets. So you can get that one. And he kind of looks at it and he says, alright, you get that one and we'll say it's another gold and you can have that one.
2 gold pieces.
Okay. So he just kind of looks at you like,
I guess he's surprised I don't steal.
He seemed... You get the idea that most of the Kitsune that he's had to deal with are quite not evil, just trickstery. They play a lot of tricks
Neutral?
And stuff like that. No, chaotic.
Chaotic.
So that's kind of how you get the idea that he's watching you closer. But you seem to be winning him over with the gold, so he's not upset about anything in that sense. And he's like, oh, all right, yes, there you go. Well, he goes in here, and he, as you're in here and he's getting more used to you, he's helping you a bit more, and he shows you where to put the best places to put it so that it doesn't weigh too heavy on you when you're walking around. So now you have a backpack that you can put that stuff in. It's a bit more suited for what you're looking for.
And I put the pots in, and I put the bigger stuff, the bigger pots and pans and stuff like the little cauldron, the little pan, and stuff like that in the main area, and then the utensils in the longer pocket slot thing.
Right. All right. So you go ahead and do that, and you are able to get your stuff all taken care of. You got all your things in there. Anything else that you wanted to pick up before you add here?
Nah. I go over to the food marketplace area section.
Okay. In the marketplace, near the marketplace district, you have a general store for
like Dollar
food
or stuff.
Well, no, for food goods and things like that. And then you also have a bazaar that's kind of like an open air thing where there's different stalls, and it functions like a farmer's market as well as other things are there besides just things grown, like crafts and things. So you could go there also.
I go to the one that has food. Like
food?
I just want like stuff like bread, carrots, potatoes, tomatoes.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Now, to make you aware, you are aware that tomatoes go bad fairly fast. And it's not the season for tomatoes right now.
Well, then, potatoes.
Okay.
And carrots. I just need basic crops. Simple crops.
Simple things to cook. Okay, so you have your stuff set up in that sense. You can definitely get rations. You find a couple places that you can get. You wanted to go to the actual store, or you wanted to go to the stalls?
Store.
So you go to the sundry shop.
Is it a bigger store, or is it a small, or is it a small store?
Well, you go to Wainwright's sundry shop. Wainwright's, and it has sundries and
so it has aisles like in harps and stuff.
Well, kind of, yes. It has shelves and things like that.
Like aisles, 1 aisle, 2 aisles, and stuff like that. I ask him what he has.
All right. Well, there's an older gentleman at the desk right now, and he says, "Hello, young man. Are you in your Kitsune form? I'm gonna assume you're in your Kitsune form because you haven't changed. You said
yes.
Okay. Kind of looks at you.
I ask him if he has any where the aisle with the basic grown food is.
Well, with the sundry shop, you don't really necessarily have to ask. It's not big. When I say it's a sundry shop, it's no bigger than it's not bigger than this. It's smaller than our downstairs. It's about as big as that over there. And he has some spots. And for those listening,
like about 2 slots. So.
He has some spots that has it. And for the listeners, I'm talking about it's maybe 30 feet by one deep and about 18 feet the other way. So that's what you got there. Anyway, he's got several things. There's also some stuff like jerky and things like that are closer to what you're talking about for on the road trip.
I want like some meat, potatoes and stuff like that. Like chopped like chopped up bits of meat and sausage and stuff like that. Basically, ingrown crops.
So he lets you look around, but he comes and watches you while you're in the aisles. And when you mention wanting to have some meats and things, he says, "Well, you'll have to go to the butcher's for that. I don't have any of that."
Okay, then where's Daddy? So he'd have at least one aisle, and then on the other side of the aisle, he'd have like one aisle slot there, and then on one side there'd be some wheat and stuff like that, and then on the other side
Well, he doesn't have wheat, he has flour. He has stuff that's already ready to use.
I need flour then. I need flour and I just need normal bread.
Well, then you'd go to the baker.
Baker? Okay. I need to go to the baker, the butcher, and get some crops. Which I'm already at.
The butcher, the baker, and this guy has sundries. He has things that are already to be used. Like he has flour. He has...
Does he have cornmeal?
He has cornmeal.
I need cornmeal.
Okay. So you want to basically get some items that you can cook with. Is all I'm hearing, right?
Yes, what I want is spices and
he does have some spices.
What spices does he have?
Just general spices. He has some salt, a little bit of pepper, some nutmeg, some... Let me see. There's a root here in this particular area. It's called red root, which is...
Is it spicy?
Yeah, it's kind of a spicy root. It's like a jalapeno pepper or a cayenne pepper, but in root form that you grind up. So...
Yeah, if I have I'm not saying I will, I could scrape it, but... Mm-hmm.
They call it red root, they call it fire root, there's a few other names for it, but you know it best as red root or fire root.
Red root.
So, but it's a spice. There's garlic.
I need some garlic, some salt, some pepper, and some cornmeal.
Okay. So you get food,
and I
basically.
Need beans.
Okay. Now he sells usually big bags, so you're getting smaller bags that are carryable.
I want a bag about this big, maybe?
You can't carry that many bags. You are not strong enough to carry a bunch of bags that size. So you can get some little bags for like when you're out and about traveling.
I want 2 little bags about this big.
You can get little bags of each thing. Is that what you're wanting to do?
Yes, little bags
about. Little containers of the salt and pepper and spices. To make this clear, you can spend about here at Wainwright's. He'd say you could spend about a silver and get. You could spend a silver and get all the spices you're wanting, and you can spend another 4 silver and get all the basic cooking, the basic supplies you were needing to go out on a trip or cook and something. So
I don't have silver, so I'll give him 2 pieces of gold.
Okay.
I'm basically giving him 20 silver.
Yes, you are. He goes, "Oh, well, thank you, young man. Who are you?"
Moon.
No, okay. All right then. Well, thank you, Moon. Do come back any time to Wainwright's. We're happy to see you again sometime. Yes. Do you need any help with anything else? And he starts listing off a bunch of things that you might want, like a shovel and a hoe, and he's got a bunch of different things that you can use, that you could buy. He starts listing off lots of things.
I don't need anything else.
All right. Just there you go. That's fine. It's just,
So you needed to go down to the baker and the butcher. But if you just go outside here and you go down and he starts giving you directions to the butcher and the baker, 3 doors down and you take a left for the butcher, and 3 doors down and you take a right for the baker, and you should be on, and so on and so forth.
That's actually closer than it sounds.
Well, it's down there. It's all one small. It's all one. I go
to the butcher first.
Okay, so you go to the butcher. He has some small cuts of meat if you want those.
I'm still in my Kitsune form.
Okay. Well, from now on, I'll assume you're in your Kitsune form unless you tell me otherwise. So, he gets you set up, and his name's, well, you don't seem to ask people's names, but it's called Hoghead Butcher.
I need some, Daddy, I need some actual meat slices. I need meat slices that aren't already cooked, but I'm gonna cook them when I bake them. I want stuff that's chopped up that's in a little container bag or something. To go.
Okay. So he's able to give you those things, and
I need ham and just ham and turkey.
Okay. He says, right. That's about it's a couple silver for all that you want.
So a couple is 2, right?
I gotta change his word. Yep. A couple silver.
I give him a piece of gold.
Well, thank you. And he asks your name as well.
Moon.
And so you do that. And you kind of see him make a kind of bites on the gold to see if it's real gold. And he's like, there you go, boy. Sounds good then. So yeah, come back anytime.
Daddy, why are you making that weird face?
Because it helps me remember the voice. So you go back out and you go to the baker now?
Yes. I need some, Daddy, in the game, I need some soft bread and some harder bread. Like crunchy bread and soft bread.
You can get all types of different bread. And the bread, you go down to a place called the Confection House, and there's a man and a woman. The woman's the one that's engaging right now. The man's back in the back, and you see him. As you're coming in, they have done well enough that they have glass in their windows, and they have a nice glass window with these square panes, and you see, and they're kind of going talking to each other as they're inside, very animated.
So they're basically fighting in words?
Well, they're having a heated talk. You're not sure what they're talking about until you come in. You see that it is where Wainwright's and Hogshead had a human. Both of those were human. This is a couple gnomes, and they seem to be having a very fast conversation in Gnomish. And sounds like really fast, like someone put hit the fast forward on a recording or on a tape. So you hear them bickering, but once they hear the bell go off, they absolutely stop, and they both turn, and he gets back to baking, and she turns to you and says, "Oh, hello, and she seems to be about a middle-aged,
like teenager?
No, I mean
like 40?
Mom age.
Like normal mom age is sometimes 20 to the 30s or 40s.
she's middle-aged. She's older than that for a gnome. And she has bright blue hair that's kind of spikes upward. And
I can imagine that right now.
She's got a little bandana around it. She's got her apron on, and her eyebrows are all up and have a long curl on them. And she goes, "Oh, hello, hello. Come in. Yes. How can we help you, young man? Young Kitsune, how can we help you?"
I need some hard bread and some soft bread.
"Oh, no problem. Right over there. There's some right there. See it, it's right there. And then there's some right over there. There's right there. And it's wonderful. There's some sweet bread, there's some soft bread, there's some regular bread, there's some pumpernickel, there's some rye, there's some, all different types. There's wheat, there's non-wheat, there's lots of different types. What do you want?
Wheat and hard wheat.
Oh, wonderful. We got hard wheat and normal wheat. Well, it's just right over here. There's several different types of wheat now. There's several different types of hard and soft wheat. What do you want? What do you want looking for? There's this type of hard wheat, and she goes, it doesn't go down much. And then she says, there's this type of hard wheat, and it's just hard on the outside with a crust. So she's talking about the crust, and it seems to give a little more on the inside. And she continues to go very fast while she's talking.
I need one that's crusty on the inside and out.
Okay. So you are able to tell her and get through all of her talk about how it is, how hard and soft, and it takes longer than it should because she's talking very fast and talking a lot. So, all that said, she goes ahead and you are able to find what you're looking for. And she says, "Oh, don't worry, there'll only be about one copper. One copper per loaf. 1 copper per loaf, you should be good. Just 1 copper per loaf, and if you're only buying 2, that's only 2 coppers. So if you only got 2 copper, that's fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. We'll just get it all taken care of. What do you want, boy? What do you want?"
I give her a piece of gold.
"Oh my goodness, this is so much. Look at this." She turns around and waves it at her husband. "You're the only one in here right now. And she wouldn't do this if you weren't. You don't think. And she waves it at her husband and says, and he goes,
So I think I can understand one of those words.
They gibber back and forth.
That he wants that piece of gold.
Well, they gibber back and forth, and she kind of sets it on the counter and she goes, "Oh, thank you, we appreciate your customers. What's your name, boy? What's your name?"
Moon.
"Moon. Oh, Moon, you're such a good Moon. Such a good Moon. Moon's a wonderful name. You know, the Moon is a great thing. So we're so glad that you came by. So thank you, Moon. Thank you, Moon. So is there anything else you want? There's plenty of things here. Don't you worry about it. Oh, here, take this. Why don't you take this?" And she gets out a dill of sweet pastries she gets a baker's dozen of sweet pastries. So she gives you 13. They're like, you would call them donuts. They're not donuts. They're like pastries and apple fritters and stuff like that. And she gives you those. And that's just a thank you from us to you. That's just a thank you from us to you. And she's patting your hand the whole time. Don't you worry about it. Thank you so much for you. You tell all your friends. That you have. All your Kitsune friends, all your other friends, all your Moon and Stars friends. You tell them that you just came here to the confectionery home, and that you just had this wonderful time, and it was great, and that all the food we had was just wonderful. And she continues to go on and on, and
I slowly back to the door.
Okay, slowly back to the door, and you get all that taken care of. So that's another gold piece that you have spent. So, all that taken care of. Are you ready to go back to are you going back to the Golden Grain, or where are you going now?
What time is it?
This little escapade has probably costed about 2.5 hours, so it was already 2 o'clock, so it's about 4:30 in the afternoon. It's springish time right now, so it's going to get dark in about an hour and a half.
So there's still light.
There's still some light, yeah.
I go back to the Golden Grain.
Okay. On your way back to the Golden Grain, as you're carrying all of your stuff
in the backpack.
Well, you probably got most of the stuff in the backpack, and then you're probably eating the pastries or something like that.
No.
No. Okay. Anyway, you can't. The pastries are in a box, so if you stick them in your backpack, they'll get squished. But
I hold them.
Okay, so you hold them in the little return customer box that she gave you.
What's that?
She, in all of her gibbering, she said that it was a box that that her favorite customers get, and that it's basically a little basket that has a built-in flap over the top, a wicker basket that you can bring back and forth.
So like a picnic basket?
Yeah, a little thin picnic basket that you can bring back and forth to pick up your bread in and stuff like that. Or if that you want it to have, kind of like a milkman might go around in the past and give out milk to those that set their containers out on the doorstep. They used to do that with their glass milk containers. That was what the milkman did. In the similar way, you can set your bread basket out and you can get bread delivered to you. So they've got that going. That's why they're one of the most popular ones in the town. But all that done, all that said.
Do I need to sign it?
No, you can put your own little trappings on it to make sure that you know it's yours. But other than that, you don't have to sign it or anything. On your way back, you actually see Delilah coming your way. And she seems to have gone to the Golden Grain and is coming out now and coming down the street, and then you see her coming. And she goes, "Oh, Moon."
I go to her?
And she says, I'm glad I caught you. Can we step where someone's not wanting to hear us?
Which, like in the alleyway?
We can go in the alley, or we can go up to your room, either way.
I'd like to get to my room so I can put stuff up while we talk.
Okay, but that sounds fine. That sounds fine. Let's go up that way then. And so,
head up.
Yeah, she follows you up, and you wave. Matilda waves to you. Hello, dearie.
Hello.
And all right, and you go upstairs. You guys get into your room, and she says, "We think we might have figured out something that."
I'm slowly putting stuff up.
Okay. The information that we received from our interrogations have led us to believe that we've found a person of interest in the town. Apparently, there's a man who's controlling rats. And
is there a big rat?
Well, there were. The guards and the duergar both. The duergar. Both of them gave us some information about someone trying to set up an underbelly, a criminal undercurrent here in Crosstown, trying to set up themselves in a favorable position for doing all that underhanded stuff.
So he controls the mice and rats to steal stuff?
Well, we're not sure. We know he had to work with, that he had somehow paid off the guards. So he had made enough money to do that. At least those two that you picked out for us, we found that they were definitely working with him, and they have since been put into the breeze. But we want you to keep your ear to the ground on this. We want you to keep your eyes open. We're going to keep gathering some information. But if you find anybody that's had problems with large vermin, large rats, you let us know, because there might be a way that he's getting into that place. So,
probably he can turn into a rat, sort of like I can turn into a fox. Maybe he can turn into a rat and get in places and then turn back and steal stuff.
you have to talk loud enough for people to hear you. I don't know. That I certainly hope not. That'd make him very hard to track.
Only if we caught all. It would be hard if we had to catch all the rats in the southern colony.
Well, I don't think we're going to be able to do that. But I'll keep an eye out. You keep an eye out. If you remember, or hear someone talking about having problems with rats, and I mean like bigger rats. I don't mean like, because that's what they said. They said that he had a couple of rats, big ones, that were his pets. So that might be where.
I think they were holding weapons.
Who?
The rats.
What rats are you talking about?
If they're so big, then maybe they're holding weapons.
No, the guards said that they never really got a good look at him, but they saw his pets sitting by him. He kept his face in the shadows. But
that's because he didn't. If they backstabbed him, they wouldn't know his identity. That's what assassins do.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know, not. Well, I would know. But you're probably right. Didn't want them to be able to finger him in any kind of way, be able to point to him as the person. So, we'll have to see what goes on. You keep yourself in tune with what's going on. Maybe someone's had problems with rats recently, and you'll be able to pick it out. But that's what the Shari wanted me to deliver, that information to you and keep you up to breast on what's going on, since you've been such a help to us. He's also said if you ever need anything, just to come by and see him and he might be able to help you out. But anyway, I've got to get back to work, so we'll see you, Moon. She bids you goodbye.
And I am done putting my stuff up, right? Well, not with the backpack stuff.
Well, you're done putting everything up, basically.
Except for the treats. I set the treats on the little desk thing in the right there.
Your nightstand?
Yes.
Okay.
By me.
Okay.
And I get a little donut.
All right. You get your pastry out, and you nibble on your pastry as the night starts to settle in.
And I eat one donut and I go to bed.
Okay. So that's where we're going to call it for right now. So that is session, I believe we said it was 8. Session 8.
What about the other game?
Well, we'll see what goes on. I need to get this one edited first and put together. But anyway, that's today's episode. Thank you, travelers, for coming by the Inn of Planar Crossroads. We hope you enjoyed. It was a bit of a shopping episode, but hopefully some of the characters were worth listening to in this shopping episode. As always,
it was basically just a shopping episode because it was one where I needed where I was getting supplies.
Yeah, for if you go camping or something.
Which I probably will in a year.
Well, you probably will need to. But, as always, have a great day. God bless, and enjoy. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. This content was made possible by the generous support of patrons and travelers like you. Thank you.